Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. Friends, in our earlier programs we have discussed about the concept of knowledge, and we have also discussed about the concept of an academic discipline, and how an academic discipline has emerged by categorizing a special types of knowledge, and the journey of a discipline we have also discussed, the constituents of a discipline that also we have discussed. Today we'll discuss what are the different forms of discipline. Okay, so we already discussed the concept of a discipline. Then here we will try to understand that what are the different types of discipline, what are the different forms of discipline. So friends, before discussing the forms of discipline, various forms of discipline, let us try to understand that what is a discipline, and what are the characteristics of a discipline. We have discussed about the characteristics of discipline earlier. Just to recapitulate it, I will just take the names, and we'll spend 2-3 minutes to understand the characteristics of a discipline. Then after we'll move to discuss on various forms of discipline. You see, as already we have discussed, that every discipline, every academic discipline is having a definite history, and the discipline is having its story of development, its story of chronology. Okay, so at a time a discipline has emerged by merging, by categorizing a type of knowledge, and that discipline has further you can say practiced in the academic field. Okay, so that's why every discipline is having its journey, is having its story, is having its narration, and it's having its development and history. You will not find a single discipline which that discipline is not having a proper history. You can say that there is the history of the discipline of mathematics, the history of the discipline of the history discipline itself, the history of the discipline of sociology, the history of the discipline of political science, the history of the discipline of economics, and accordingly in many other areas of knowledge. You can say in the areas of science, in the areas of social science, in the areas of language and literature, in the areas of sports. Okay, so every discipline is having its own history. Then second, we can say that whenever there is a discipline, definitely that discipline is having a substantial body of knowledge. Okay, a domain of knowledge and a substantial body of knowledge. Every discipline is having its own principles, own theories, own practices, own laws. Okay, own rules, and that laws, rules, practices, okay, and the domain of knowledge having you can say a cognitive domain of knowledge, an affective domain of knowledge, and you can say psychomotor aspect also. So every discipline is having a substantial body of knowledge, having a knowledge base, and basing upon that knowledge base we conduct a type of research. Then we make that discipline as a shape of a subject for the academic practices, for the academic manifestation. Okay, we may use that discipline for academic teaching, to teach the students. Okay, so that's why a substantial body of knowledge is there in every discipline, maybe science, social science, languages, or other areas of knowledge. Every discipline is having certain theories. Okay, and that theories and principles are being used when we design a teaching learning process. Then the third characteristics, we can say that every discipline is having a research base. So friends, you see, maybe a discipline of science, maybe a discipline of social science, we conduct certain research in science, in social sciences. Okay, we conduct research in physics, we conduct research in biology, we conduct research in chemistry, we conduct research in economics, in education, we conduct research in sociology, in political science, in philosophy, in language, in Hindi literature. So friends, you see, conducting research in different discipline, you will find the process that we follow, the methodology that we use, the tools and techniques that we use to collect data. Okay, so you will find it is different so far as the nature of knowledge of the discipline is concerned. Okay, you see, the process of conducting a research and the research methods that we use for conducting research in science, it's something different from language, is something different from social sciences. Okay, so that's why every discipline is having a research base, and you will find that the followers of that disciplines, they conduct research in that disciplines, and on the basis of the research they try to bring certain innovation in that discipline. Okay, so that's why this is also one of the characteristics of a discipline, that every discipline is having a research base. Then the third, we can say that the every discipline is having a philosophy with the theories and principles. So without a philosophy, you cannot say that there is the existence of a discipline. We have also discussed in our earlier program that when we design a discipline, when we discuss the concept of a discipline, you will find that every discipline has designed in certain perspectives, in certain context. Just like in perspectives, we can say every discipline is having a philosophical perspective, a historical perspective, an intellectual perspective, a socio-political perspective, a cultural perspective. Okay, so that's why just like a philosophical perspective, every discipline is having its own theories, own practices, own rules and regulations, own principles. Okay, and that rules and regulations, that principles, that theories, that research base are being used for conducting research and for acquiring knowledge in that discipline. Then you can say that every discipline is having a group of intellectual followers, those practice that discipline, those involved in that discipline for conducting research and to bring changes in that discipline time to time. Okay, and every discipline is having a type of institutional manifestation. You see, as a discipline, we practice it in different institutions. Okay, as a subject in university teaching, as a subject in the college teaching, as the subject in the school teaching. So that's why the discipline is also being practiced to teach the students and to acquire certain degree by implementing, by teaching that discipline. So friends, these are the certain characteristics of a discipline. We should first understand the characteristics of a discipline before discussing different or various forms of the discipline. So friends, after discussing the characteristics, now let us try to understand that what are the different forms of discipline. You see friends, disciplines can be classified into three broad categories. We can say that basic discipline, applied discipline, then inter, multi and transdisciplinary areas or transdiscipline. So friends, I repeat it. I mentioned here three forms of discipline. A discipline has broadly categorized in three different forms. First is the basic discipline. This is one of the form of the discipline, and second is the applied discipline. This is the second category or another form of the discipline. Then the third is inter, multi and transdisciplinary areas. Okay, so this is the third form of the discipline. This is inter, multi and transdisciplinary areas. So friends, now let us try to understand that what is a basic discipline, what is an applied discipline, and what is an inter, multi and transdisciplinary approach or areas. So you see, in basic discipline, we can say that some disciplines have their own network of concepts which are distinctive and unique in nature. Such disciplines are categorized as basic discipline. You will find certain disciplines having its own body of knowledge, its own structure, its own unique structure. That we call as the basic discipline or parent discipline. So try to understand, when we talk about the discipline of mathematics, the discipline of science, the broad areas of science, the discipline of social science, the broad areas of the discipline of social sciences, the discipline of you can say language and literature. So when we talk about the broad areas of knowledge, basing upon that broad areas of knowledge, when we form a particular type of discipline that caters a particular type of knowledge, we can say that is a basic discipline. Okay, so just like, for example, mathematics is a basic discipline which has a distinct and unique body of knowledge. So when we talk about the discipline of mathematics, you see, the type of knowledge and the processes of acquiring that knowledge that comes to our mind and that we practice, that is related to our logic, our reasoning, the inductive and deductive reasoning, the skill of analysis, synthesizing the things. Okay, so you see, we apply such type of processes to acquire the mathematical knowledge. Okay, problem solving also. Okay, so here you see, mathematics, we can say mathematics is a basic discipline because it has a parent body of knowledge, it has a particular types of body of knowledge. Then the discipline of science consists of its own concepts, facts, principles, generalization, laws and theories which are empirical in nature. When you talk about the discipline of science, you see this discipline is having certain theories, is having certain facts, certain principles, certain laws, certain generalizations, and we observe certain things. We do a type of experimentation, okay, to verifying the result of science, and it is we adopt a very systematic and scientific process to verify a scientific knowledge, a scientific fact. So that's why by conducting certain empirical research, we can verify the knowledge of science. And this body of knowledge in science has been, you can say, divided into various disciplines with more specialized characteristics like physics, chemistry and biology. When we talk about physics, chemistry and biology, all are having their own theories, all are having their own principles, all is having their own body of knowledge. And we can conduct empirical studies, we can conduct a type of experiment in these discipline, science based discipline, just like physics, chemistry and biology. And further you will find that from this basic discipline many new disciplines has been emerged that we will discuss in the applied discipline. Then next we will talk about the science, the discipline of social sciences. You see, social sciences include awareness and understanding of our own and others' mind, and include concepts that are essential for interpersonal relationships. So friends, when we talk about the discipline of social sciences, you see certain things that comes to our mind, that we have to it caters this our social dealing, our interpersonal relationship, how we work, how we involve, what is our actions and activities in the society, in the community, in the family, okay, in the school, in the group. So in our group living, in our society living, in our cultural living, in our community living, the things that we are dealing, the things that we are doing, mostly that caters, mostly that includes in study of social sciences. So that's why, as social sciences is a basic discipline, it deals the knowledge of the society, the knowledge of interpersonal relationship, and all types of social dealings of human being. Okay, and further we can say that the social sciences are divided into, you can say, sociology. Sociology is a branch of social science, is a subject of social science. History is also, you can say, a discipline under the broad discipline of social sciences. Then anthropology, political science, education, psychology, etc. So these are the certain disciplines that come under the broad discipline of social science. So friends, now we have discussed about a basic discipline. A basic discipline is a parent discipline, okay, and that basic discipline is having a substantial body of knowledge, a type of knowledge, and that type of knowledge are being used, to designing that discipline, for conducting research, for bringing innovations in that discipline, and further that disciplines is also being practiced, implemented for institutional manifestation. Okay, so that discipline has practiced for the academic purpose, for teaching the students and providing a type of degree and diplomas. Then next we'll discuss about the second form of discipline, that is the applied discipline. Okay, so as the term has used here, applied discipline means here we are using a type of applied knowledge, means the knowledge, the theories and principles that we got from the basic discipline, from the parent discipline. So that principles, laws, regulations and theoretical knowledge are practiced. When it is practiced in the field, when it is practiced for changing the behavior, for acquiring the skill, we can say that is the applied discipline. This is also called as a field discipline, means the theories will be applied in the field. So friends, let us try to understand. You see, the applied disciplines are those wherein the knowledge of basic principles are used. So as I have already said, the knowledge that you have acquired from the basic discipline or from the parent disciplines are applied here, okay, for acquiring certain skills. For example, you see scientific knowledge is used in technological applications. So we are getting scientific knowledge when we are studying the physics, chemistry, the biology and other disciplines of the broad discipline of science. And when that scientific knowledge, the theories of physics, the theories of chemistry, the principles of biology, when we are using it in technological applications. So when we talk about the nanotechnology, you see we are using the principles, we are using the theories of physics in nanotechnology. So nanotechnology is a type of applied discipline, whereas physics is a type of basic discipline. So you try to understand. Then the areas of, you can say, the other areas of applied disciplines like bioengineering. In bioengineering, here you will find that they are using the technology of engineering, at the same time they are also using the concept, the theories and principles that they have studied, or that the discipline of biology, which is included in the discipline of the biology, that also this knowledge are being used in bioengineering. Then biotechnology, applied physics, just we are talking the name of the discipline, that is the nanotechnology. Then environmental biology, you just tell me, when we talk about the environmental biology, okay, even if the environmental science, environmental education, so whether it deals with a single discipline, whether it deals with you can say a particular types of knowledge, a particular types of theory, you see it deals many disciplines also. So it brings certain theories, certain principles from different you can say parent disciplines, different basic disciplines, and it takes a form of applied disciplines, a field disciplines. Okay, so by applying the bioengineering, biotechnology, applied physics, environmental biology, we can acquire, we can use, we can apply certain certain skills for solving certain problem. Okay, it depends upon the nature of the knowledge. Then we can say, as knowledge advances, new areas of knowledge and disciplines are emerged, new specializations are created having their roots in basic disciplines and merge with other relevant areas. So you see, it is very clear, in the advancement of the knowledge, requirement of the society, need of the society. So what over the times, what we are doing, so after conducting research, we try to emerge certain new discipline, and that new disciplines are the definitely that is a body of knowledge, but that body of knowledge, that the practices of that discipline, the knowledge base of that disciplines, that has been taken from a basic discipline, from a parent discipline, and the theories and principles of parent disciplines, that has been taken for forming an applied discipline. So that will be used for for solving certain practical problems, for solving certain field based program. So that's why many nowadays you will find that many new disciplines, applied disciplines, are being practiced across the areas, means in science areas, in social science areas, in a language and literature areas, everywhere you will find that new disciplines are emerging, and that is a type of applied discipline. And you see, when we talk about education, we can also say that education is a type of applied teacher education. I'm saying the example of the teacher education. Teacher education is a professional program, and teacher education is one of the branch of the broad umbrella discipline of education. So teacher education is a applied discipline, whereas the broad discipline, that is the education, is a parent discipline, or you can say this is a basic discipline. So friends, in teacher education, what we do, we prepare teachers, we develop certain skills among the teachers, and that skills they're supposed to practice, that skills they're supposed to use to teach the students in the schools. Okay, so they acquire certain teaching learning process skills, how to teach, how to ask a question, okay, how to use different methods in different subjects. So that caters in the discipline, in the applied discipline of teacher education. So this is the concept of applied discipline, mostly the essence and the theories, principles, the information, the knowledge, that has been the data that has been taken from a parent discipline, and that has been used for gaining certain practical knowledge, certain applied knowledge to solve field program, to solve the problems that has been arised in the society, that has been arised in different areas of the knowledge. Then friends, next we will discuss about the third form of discipline, that is inter, multi and transdisciplinary areas. I have already taken a special session about the inter, multi and transdisciplinary approach, as this is also one of the form of discipline. Let us just recapitulate it again. You see, the recent approach to designing the curriculum in schools are inter, multi and transdisciplinary approach. We design our curriculum according to the interdisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary approach and transdisciplinary approach. For example, we can say economics is not studied independently. If you want to teach economics, if you want to learn economics, it cannot be learned, it cannot be studied, it cannot be taught independently. Rather, economics is, you can say, this is associated with different other areas of social science, just like history, political science, geography, sociology, and also other areas of disciplines of social science. Means here the knowledge is integrated. So to teach and to study economics, you will be requiring, you will be using the knowledge of history, political science, geography and sociology. This is not an independent discipline, you can say. Though economics is a discipline, still then economics is also associated, linked with other disciplines, because we will be using the knowledge of other disciplines when we study, when we acquire knowledge, when we understand the concept of economics. So that's why you can say this is an interdisciplinary approach in which one discipline serves as the principal organizer, with related disciplines serving supplementing to the principal organizer. You have to understand here that which is the principal organizer and which is the supplementing to the principal organizer. So here economics is the principal organizer, because economics is here the parent subject. And to teach, to study, to learn economics, what you are doing, you are using other branches of knowledge, you are using knowledge of other disciplines. Okay, so other disciplines to supplement the principal organizer, that is the economics, you are using history, political science, geography, sociology or other areas, and languages also. Then the multidisciplinary approach concept are selected from various disciplines to create a new field of study, you can say. Many a time, let me to give an example. For example, the area of population education. When we use the term population education, you see, population education requires the use of the knowledge of biology, economics, psychology, sociology, geography, education and so on. Population education is not an independent body of knowledge. You can say population education, it is a multi and transdisciplinary approach where the knowledge of biology is required for understanding the population education, population parameters, the knowledge of economics is required, the knowledge of psychology is required, the knowledge of sociology is required, and the knowledge of geography is required. Means when we study population education, definitely we have to study the geography. Okay, means the situations of the place, the area of the place, the altitude of the place, the geographical condition of that place, the climate of the place, the crop production of the place where the particular group of population are staying. And we have to understand the sociology, what type of social interpersonal relationship exist within a population group, within a group of population. Okay, so that also a part of the area of knowledge, that is the population education. Then psychology, when you study population, then definitely psychology comes to the context. Then economics also, you can say the cost and benefits, the earning of the population there, you can say how the agriculture and the productions. So this is also one of the, you can say, they also use for population education, they use the knowledge of economics. Then definitely they use the knowledge of biology also. We talk about the growth and development, we talk about the human development. So when the population education, the body of knowledge of population education is also include the knowledge of biology. So friends, here the knowledge is integrated. Population education, here this is not an example of a interdisciplinary aspect, interdisciplinary approach. Rather, this is the example of a multi and transdisciplinary approach. Means by integrating other areas of knowledge, by integrating the principles, the theories, the concept, the rules and regulations, and the practices of other disciplines like education, geography, sociology, psychology, economics, and biology, we can form a discipline that is the population education. So here population education is not a science-based discipline, is not a art subject-based discipline, is not even a humanities discipline, a commerce-based discipline. Anyone can study population education. So when we talk about population education, definitely we talk about, you can say, the education of that group of population, okay, the literate percent, and what is their education standard, okay, because the other aspects of development depends upon the education. So that's why when we talk about population education, then the discipline of education, they also use the knowledge of the discipline of education, the practices of discipline of education. So friends, this is another form of discipline, that is the inter, multi and transdisciplinary areas of knowledge. So friends, today we discuss about the three forms of discipline, that is basic discipline, or that is also called as parent discipline, then applied discipline, that is also called as field discipline, and we have also discussed about the concept of inter, multi and transdisciplinary areas of a discipline. In our next program, we will discuss other aspect of disciplines and other aspects of conducting research in the areas of education. Thank you.